What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. All right, everybody. So once again, we got to talk about Simu Liu doing what Simu Liu does best: cry, whine, bitch, moan, and complain. All right, that's what this guy's entire act is, man. All he does is get out here on social media at some point in time or another and cry and complain about shit.
He ain't lying.
You guys will remember, like a couple of weeks back, I did a video about him complaining about rice. Whining about rice. It's like, why are you talking about rice right now, my guy? All right, focus on acting. See, this is the reason why your acting career is in the 9th inning, because you can't focus on doing your job. But now he want to call out Hollywood for the lack of representation of Asian actors. We're fighting a deeply prejudiced system. Like, all right, man, look, I'm sorry, man. If you're talking about representation, all right, at this stage of the game, all right, you're just a loser.
That's not ridiculous. That's not ridiculous to say that.
This is the DEI era. All right. This is the DEI era of Hollywood. This is woke Hollywood. And if you can't find work in woke Hollywood, there's something wrong with you. That has nothing to do with woke Hollywood. That has everything to do with you. Like, you talking about, like, how does Awkwafina have a fucking career? As untalented as that hoe is, how does she have a career? Why is she a thing at all? It's because of woke Hollywood. It's DEI. That's why Awkwafina has a career, y'all. And it's like, come on, bro. Like, are you really trying to tell me that you can't find work in the wokest era of Hollywood and you're going to start crying about some representation?
Stop it. Get some help.
They would love nothing more than to put a dude like Simu Liu, super woke activist. They would love nothing more than to put this dude out there. If you can't get work, G, that means that you just can't act. All right, you need to go back to acting class. All right, and that's basically what it is, man. Look, like he's talking about like the lack of Asian actors and stuff. Like the best movie or the best TV show I've seen so far this year is Last Samurai Standing. Nothing but Asian actors in this bitch. All right, this thing was chock-a-block. It was all Japanese, obviously. And I was like, man, this is the best thing, one of the best things I've seen all year. All right, so I don't know what Simu Liu is talking about. Well, he says Hollywood, right? He says, it's Hollywood. You know, stuff made in other countries, you know, yeah, that's that. But Hollywood's not given the representation. Well, maybe you need to shoot over to them other countries, you know, because some of the best work is coming from them other countries. I'm going to be honest with you. I talk about it all the time. The best shit's coming out of the East, all right? K-dramas, all right? This show, Last Samurai Standing, anime, all of that stuff, it's coming out of the East. And maybe they just don't fuck with you like that because you're an annoying asshole. Like maybe the reason why you can't get no work, and you should be able to go over to Asia and get some work and be like, hey, man, I'm a big Hollywood star, man. Y'all should love me. But he can't get that work. Why? Because he's a giant asshole and he can't act. All right. Just go get some acting classes. Get off of Twitter and social media and all of that shit. All right. And focus on your career. That's what you need to do. Look, this is where he was coming from, man. I found this. This is the threads. All right. He put this shit up on threads. He knew better than to put this on X. All right. Because if he had put this on X, this thing would have been ratioed into the fucking ground. But this is what he had said. Put some Asians in literally. Oh, let me start with this. All right. So this was the actual thread. It came from Selfie Ignite film threads. Hollywood put more Asian men in romantic leading roles. And they're talking about Manny Jacinto, John Cho, Daniel Day Kim, Asian actors, blah, blah, blah. All right. They didn't name Simu Liu. You notice that, right? All right. They didn't call Simu Liu out whatsoever. They didn't ask for him. And then it's crazy because when you start scrolling through here, you know, they're talking about all kinds of other actors and stuff. Manny, John, Manny, who else? K-dramas. They said they love K-dramas. It's all the chicks, all right? All the cat ladies in the world. Somebody even threw Hiroyuki Sanada, all right, in the mix. Says, where is he? Well, I don't know what the fuck that is, but yeah, people love that shit. Henry Golding, all right? They're throwing all kind of folks in the mix, all right? And then finally somebody gets to Simu Liu. All right. No likes, no retweets, no nothing. Dev Patel, so on and so forth. But yeah, that's basically what Simu was responding to, okay? He had to throw himself in the mix probably because he didn't see his name pop up enough. He says, put some agents in literally anything right now. The amount of backslide in our representation on screen is fucking appalling. Studios think we're risky. Minari, Farewell, Past Lives, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Crazy Rich, and then Shang-Chi. He had to throw Shang-Chi in there too, all right? Every single one a financial success.
Right.
Are you sure that Shang-Chi was a financial success, all right? Because I think Shang-Chi was a giant flop myself, all right? Shang-Chi only made $432 million worldwide, and you know good and goddamn well that ain't gonna make it for a Marvel movie. All right, Marvel, they spend a ton of money on their budget. They said that this one only had like $150 million budget. Okay, let's give it that. All right, and then let's say they spent around $100 million on marketing, which is the general rule of thumb. That's 250 total spend. You needed 500 to break even. You didn't break even. All right. So you lost money. There's that. Okay. But yeah, he's sitting up here trying to complain, trying to cry. It says no Asian actor has ever lost a studio even close to $100 million, but a white dude will lose $200 million twice and roll right into the next tentpole lead. I wonder who he's talking about.
I hope people are as excited as I am about seeing the grid come out into the real world, to see light cycles and disc battles and recognizers, which are the big ships.
Jared Leto, man, I expect a clap back in the morning. All right. He calling you out. You know he's calling you out, man. A white dude will lose $200 million twice, man. They like, Jared, man, are you going to take this lion down? Yeah, but he says we're fighting a deeply prejudiced system, and most days it sucks. Okay, but again, man, find the work where it is. You know, if you're an Asian actor, and again, I'm not going to say that Hollywood is, sidelining y'all, but I did notice this on AsianMoviePulse.com, 35 Asian films to watch in 2025. All right. So there's all kinds of movies coming out of Asia, and maybe you need to get your ass over to Asia and try to get some work, my guy. Okay, if you're not finding it here, look, no other choice, man. I'm looking forward to this. Again, man, Hollywood is dropping the ball in a lot of ways anyway. So, why are you going to Hollywood looking for anything? Hollywood is losing money right now. Hollywood is bankrupt. Hollywood doesn't understand how to attain an audience anymore. They can't even speak to the current audience. Meanwhile, all the work in Asia is doing what it is. You need to get your ass over to Asia, G. That's what I'm saying. You need to get over to Asia and start rocking it out with them, okay? I'm looking forward to all of these cats. And then Deadline, they had put this up from Squid Game Season 3 to The World Between Us sequel, 9 Asian TV dramas to look out for in 2025. Now, maybe he wants more work. Maybe he wants 20 Asian dramas or 50 Asian dramas. I don't know. I don't understand the level of representation that this guy is looking for. But there's clearly, Asian representation. Asian roles are out there. So this isn't some sort of a figment of my imagination. I'm like, I see Asian cats on TV all the time. This dude was in fucking The Acolyte, all right, last year, along with Manny Jacinto. So listen, man, I mean, this guy is just crying and complaining, like I said, as he always does. That's what Simu Liu does best. Stop crying about it. Get out there, put the work in, but at the end of the day, it's just you're just not a good actor. And I think the fact that you're not seeing any roles is not necessarily reflective of the entire Asian community. A lot of these cats are like, yeah, it's getting better. They're like Daniel Day Kim. Kim says Asian representation in Hollywood has gotten better, but there's still room for improvement. I'm sure that's a feeling that a lot of folks could say, yeah, it's gotten better. There's still some room for improvement, but he wants to play the romantic leads and all that shit. And again, types of roles that you're playing, maybe that's what it is. But to say that, oh, no, there's no representation at all. It's just fucking appalling. It's just I don't see it, But again, I'm not one of these cats that's constantly looking for representation in every corner of the world. I'm not constantly on the lookout because I'm not woke and I don't really care about that. What I care about is entertainment, okay? I could care less who is on the camera, who's in front of the TV screen, who's who's directing it, who's writing it. Can you entertain me? Are you entertaining? If you're not entertaining, I don't care if you're black, white, Asian, Hispanic, Latino, whatever, you're trash. You're trash. And that's that. It doesn't matter if you got represented. I'm represented, but you suck. And so, can we get some representation of good acting? Yeah, back to this Deadline article. It says, this is not the first time Liu has called out the lack of representation of Asian actors in Hollywood. In 2023, he replied to an article that noted he was getting the bulk of the Asian, male roles. Liu replied to the Facebook post saying, way to attempt to put us against one another. What bulk of the roles are you referring to? Are there movies I'm in that I'm not aware of? See, he wasn't getting work. I'm not in any movies. What are you talking about? Are there movies I'm in I'm not aware of? Do you really think there is a quota of Asian male roles that is a zero-sum game? Everything I have taken post Shang-Chi was not written Asian. We've been able to reshape stories to get more representation on screen. Get your facts straight. Yeah, look, man, here's the thing. If you want more shit written Asian, then do it yourself, all right? DIY, my guy. It's that simple, all right? I'm not interested in any surface level, skin color, superficial representation. I want entertainment, all right? Which is what most people want. But if you say, I got to see Asian people on the screen, okay, then do it yourself, all right? You're supposedly a big actor. You're a big deal. You should be able to go out there and get a production company cracking and start putting people to work, all right? Like them, hate them, whatever you wanted to say about them. Jordan Peele said, nah, I'm going to put black people in front of the camera and it's going to be black lead roles in all of my movies. He ain't sitting up here crying to Hollywood for it. He went out there and got it done himself. And yeah, I know this dude is just a lousy actor. And so you could just kind of brush off everything he's saying. But I'm saying this to like anybody that's crying about something they knew. I need representation on screen. It's like, okay, then what you need to do is go and do it yourself. All right. Look, we're in the independent age, man, okay? We are in the independent age, all right? Everybody's going to start doing their own thing. You do not need to wait for Hollywood's permission or for Hollywood at all. You could go and get something cracking independent, and if you got talent, you'll rise to the top because people want talent. People want good entertainment. They're tired of woke Hollywood slop, but I don't think this dude would be able to do anything but woke Hollywood slop anyway, because that's just basically who he is. He's just another woke idiot actor that just doesn't know when to shut up, man. Yeah, it would be interesting if you really thought that you was hot shit. And if you thought that you should be able to, hey, man, I should be getting more roles. All right, more roles should be available for me. You should be able to scoot over to Asia. Asia is like basically where everything is rocking right now. All the good shit is coming out of the East. And you got a leg up over every white, black, Latino actor out there. You got a leg up. You already Asian. All you got to do is go over there and work your way through the system and jump to the top. But they ain't fucking with you. All right? Because you can't act. Bottom line, go get some acting lessons and then talk to us later. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think about it, man. Again, another just, wine fest from this dude. It's like, man, imagine being like Shang-Chi, centerpiece of a Marvel movie. And that's basically the highlight of your career. It has been down the drain ever since. Like I said, it's in the 9th inning, man. All right. And you up to plate with 2 outs. All right. Nobody on. And y'all down by 11. I think it's about a wrap for this dude. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Go ahead. Jump down in the comments. Give me your thoughts and opinions on that. Thanks for watching. See you next time.